Good afternoon. My name is Stephen Everson, and I'm a partner with MRPR. We are a CPA and advisory firm based in Southfield, Michigan. We also have an office here in Carytown in Ann Arbor. I focus my practice mostly on early stage companies, both startups and also second stage type businesses. And I'm excited to introduce to everybody Sultant. I think it's a wonderful idea. And I have a fresh story last night. My daughter, who's going to be a 10th grader at Pioneer. I was talking to her last night about Sultant, actually. And she thinks I think what she believes is one of the most boring careers you could have. How can you be a CPA, Dad? What do you do every day? And so I told her about Sultant, and her response kind of floored me, actually. She actually said, "Wow, that is really cool." So I'm like, if I can explain this to my 10th grade daughter, everybody's going to understand this. So I think it's pretty neat. So I was actually introduced to the guys here at Sultant a couple months back, and I was intrigued, wanted to learn more about them, wanted to learn more about Sultant. So before I met with them in person, I did a little bit of investigation to learn about the co-founders. Pretty impressive backgrounds. The two co-founders, Eric Plummer, Jared Crooks, both attended Princeton. Eric has a degree in economics and a master's in management from Wake Forest as well. And Jared has a degree, I believe, in astrophysics and mechanical engineering. So they've got a pretty impressive background. It made me want to meet with them in person and learn more, which I did. And so I learned about Sultant in meeting with Eric, learning about what these guys do, what they're trying to build, what Sultant is, and I really was intrigued about the problem that they're trying to solve in my profession and working with clients. And so as a CPA, one of the things that I am always trying to do, my goal is to become a trusted advisor to my client. And I can do that by providing insight and ideas, basically, around financial and tax matters. And I truly believe that Sultant can help me do this. I've talked to other CPAs in the profession, smaller firms, larger firms, 3 or 4 different firms, and they all immediately get what these guys are trying to do. They understand it. They understand the problem of wanting to provide more value to your clients, wanting to become their trusted advisor. And so what is Sultant? I see it really as a SaaS-based tool that provides real-time management level insight to your clients around the direction and health of these small businesses. So I'm pretty excited about it, and welcome Eric to tell you more about Sultant.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I appreciate that. At Sultant, we believe that small businesses are the lifeblood of the economy. We want to help them by helping them to understand their financial health like never before. In my past experiences, I've worked with companies large and small all across the country, dealing with different financial matters across the way. For some of the retailers I've dealt with billion-dollar financial projection projects. For some of the smaller companies, I've dealt with helping them to figure out if their finances are in enough healthy of a situation to actually add the first employee. During those situations, the one thing I realized is that the big companies had things, but the small companies are really the lifeblood of their communities. They are the bedrocks. They help the community to give back to itself. They create jobs, they create opportunities like never before. There are about 27 million of them in the US alone. And this is a huge, huge market, but the sad part is 50% of them fail within the first 5 years. And a lot of the reasons why they fail are simply because they don't understand their own financial health. An example of this kind of a company is a company called Nuri. They were a husband and wife couple that's Ivy League graduates, really, really smart people that created a health food bar company. They sold both in e-commerce and in retail. Retail, they sold at Whole Foods and Wegmans. Their business ended up collapsing, but when they looked back, they realized it was because of one reason. It was their margins. At retail, they had about a 20% margin, while online, they had a 50% margin. That difference in margin crushed their cash flow. And with no cash flow, the business couldn't survive. Why do I tell you this story? I'll tell you the story because one of the co-founders of Nuri is actually one of the co-founders of Sultant. He, from that experience, learned so much about what it meant to understand the financial health of the business that he wanted to go out and fix it for other entrepreneurs. Then there's me, who spent time dealing with businesses large and small, helping them understand their financial health, and we together decided that Sultant was the way to fix this. For these big companies, they have teams and teams and teams of $100,000 a year analysts that are able to go out and fix any problem the CEO could ever come up with. But for these small business owners, at most it's them and their CPA. And these business owners aren't very financially savvy. A lot of them love what they love to do, but they don't like anything else. So for a baker, they want to bake. They don't want to look at numbers all day long. And we want to help them do it better. So we created Sultant. Sultant here is a dashboard that helps them to quickly see their financial health in an intuitive way. We leverage three things: intuitive visualizations, simple insights, and actionable recommendations that really help them to understand their financial health. We try to make it as simple as possible for people who don't like numbers to understand that those numbers really impact their business and if they can perform the way they need to. We launched our alpha product in May 2016, and right after that, we actually spent the next month going through QuickBooks certification. We're built on top of QuickBooks, and this is a big deal for us. We went through a technical, security, and marketing review that allowed us then to market directly to QuickBooks customers. We quickly acquired a very small alpha group of about 30 customers to test it out and to give us a sense of how the product was working. We had a 5-star rating in the QuickBooks App Store, and then we spent time just listening. For us, the biggest part of this accelerator was really figuring out where the product should go next. What we learned was the interaction between small businesses and CPAs, there was a little bit of a misunderstanding. For the small business owners, they knew they gave information to the CPA, and in return, they thought they were getting not only their financials and tax returns, but they also thought they were getting lots and lots of advice. The problem is that while the CPAs would love to give all this advice, there's a ton of clients per CPA. And for them, the amount of money they make is directly tied to the amount of hours they can bill. For them, time is money, and there's no way for them to get around that. So Sultant kind of realized that we have an opportunity here to really create a linchpin between the CPAs and the small business owners to give them the help they need and help the CPAs to grow their business as well. The three things that the CPAs told us they needed in order to make this product work were financial benchmarks, dashboards, and alerts. They wanted to be able to know what was going on with their customers, see it visually, and be able to compare them to their competitors to figure out where to go next. So what we created were two products that will help them do this better. One is a benchmark tool. This benchmark tool is actually live on the internet right now, and you can quickly go on as a small business owner and compare yourself to companies of like industry, sub-industry, and asset class, and do this in a really quick and intuitive way. We also created for the CPAs a specific dashboard that overlays on top of the current Sultant dashboard that allows them to quickly see how their businesses are doing and to be able to be proactive rather than reactive with their clients. The biggest part of this dashboard is all about the alerts. We wanted to make it simple and easy for these CPAs to go onto their computers and quickly see how these businesses are doing, understand what action they need to take in order to correct those issues, and to be able to do it in a seamless way. Originally, when we started, it was all about the small business owner. And honestly, it still is. What we learned is that for the small business owners, there's another big part of their financial health. It's the CPAs. And really at Sultant, our job is to bring them together like never before. Our business model was simple at the beginning. We thought we can go out to all 27 million small business owners and talk to them all one-on-one and give them a product that we thought could help save them. What we learned very quickly was that their CPAs were the way to get to them. And that for these CPAs, each one of them has a ton of clients. So if we can provide value to the CPAs, we can really make a splash in the market. And the splash can be really big. For each of these CPAs, they have about 125 customers apiece. That leads for us about the $3,000 a month revenue that we can generate per CPA that we acquire. At the end of the day, it's simply all about the small business owners. They are what makes the community special. They give character, they give opportunities, and we want to help them to really turn their passion into profit. If you guys are interested in helping us to do that, I'd love to speak with you afterwards. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
You used to call me on my cell phone.